Hi guys, welcome back to In Good Company, also En Buena Compañía, in our episode 5. Thank you guys for joining. This is Evelyn.
What's up, everyone? My name is Aizy.
And this is Shanti. So how you guys been? How you guys been doing? You know, it's been like a week or something since I seen y'all.
I know, for real.
Every time we even like a week from not seeing each other, we got to catch up like hours of talking.
Yeah.
What's up? Any news? Anything exciting that happened this weekend with you guys?
Just
Out of the ordinary?
Just been hustling, working.
I think we're recovering from the holidays still.
Yeah, definitely. I feel for me, I just went to Washington, D.C. for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I was super excited. Hey, all expenses paid. Shout out to my sugar daddy, a.k.a. my job.
Hey,
it was nice.
part.
I got for real. I got to see the monuments. I actually went on Martin Luther King Day, so it was extra special to go
That's so cool.
see the monument on his actual day. And it was really nice. You know, it's crazy when you get to go and like see all these kind of things that you see in textbooks. And for me, it was really kind of like a moment when I went into the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. And I was just like, damn, I can't believe when I was so young. And this is why they should teach CRT in classes. But anyways, when I was so young, I used to always say like, oh, Abraham Lincoln is my favorite president because I thought he eradicated slavery, which yes, he did. But he didn't actually care for like
the intentions were not what you thought.
Yeah. And so it's crazy to be there and you see this ginormous monument. And for me, it was kind of a moment where I'm like, damn, there's no such thing as a good president.
It's crazy to see though, like you see these in books growing up and then you're actually in person now and you're like, holy crap, this is real. I'm here. I would read about this.
Yeah.
I think it's great when you go to a new state, new country. I went to Canada for the weekend too. It was more like a little weekend.
How was it?
Hey,
how was it?
I was like, hey, what? Huh? Hey, what? No, it was
You're
great.
Like, hey, food was good.
Hey, what's up? You asking for me? No, whoa. No, it was great. I think it was. I mean, every time you go to a different country, there's different cultural things, of course, and everything, and the way people speak. I feel like I encountered a lot of Australians and people from Ireland. So
Australian, mate.
Yeah, I would hear that conversation like, "Is that all you want?" It, and I was like, "Hey." But it was great. I got to explore the Capilano suspension bridge. I also got to see Vancouver. It was really pretty. It was cold, not as cold as the East Coast, because like Toronto, Ontario. But it was nice being, in the country where like, my ex-husband was from, Shawn Mendes.
Oh,
No.
say Drake.
Oh, you mean my current husband? No, I'm just kidding. No, so it was really cool. It was nice and a lot of nature. I love nature. I love hiking. So I think we all need those getaways, weekend getaway where we just finally like release ourselves. You're just not so close from everything that's going on. I feel like there's always bad things going on in each country.
Yeah.
But right now.
Wait, do you really think Canadians are nice people?
Personally, I had a really good experience with Canadians. I know it's so weird because Isis went. The time she went, she had a horrible experience. Here, you share about your experience. I'll share about mine because I want to hear yours.
Okay, so first of all,
and where was it at?
First
exactly?
of all, okay, I went to Kitchenville, but this one I can't take too personal because my name is Isis. So every time I go to an airport, there's always a.
I was trying to do the drum one. Okay, now I know.
But like, there's always someone that's like, especially I feel in that time because I went like probably 2017. I think that's the year that I went, and I went with my homegirl Marisol. She was wearing a Mexican shirt, so they was like, "Oh hell no, not these beaners!" And I'm like, first of all, I'm a red frijol, not a pinto bean, so let's get that correlation right. But yeah, I feel like Canadians, they were not nice. And also, I met people when I went to UCR who was from Canada, and she said she was extremely racist before she came to the United States because Canada is, made up of mostly of white people. So they're not exposed.
What I heard was that I actually encountered someone, and I was like, Canadians are really nice. It was like this bartender. I was like, you guys are really nice out here. He was like, Canadians are. Canadians. And I was like, Canadians, a lot of people come here from different countries, of course. Some of them cannot be nice. So
I'm
I was
sorry, I don't believe that. Canadians are not nice because they're white, and these white people are not used to having these people immigrate into their countries. They're not. I disagree with that.
I had a really good experience. I had a really good experience with Canadians. I wouldn't say all Canadians are bad. It's just like saying every Hondureño, every Mexican's bad. You know, it's not, I wouldn't like put it in that phrase where they all fall under one category. Okay. I had a really great experience with the Canadian people. I had a lot of people offer me like just so many like small things like, oh, like when we were in line to go in a coffee shop, literally it was raining and some lady came out with a big like canasta, like big basket of umbrellas. And she was like, oh, here you guys. Like, it's like little small things that LA would never. But I still like, I see that and I'm just like, well, it felt nice. And I apologize for almost everything. Dude, I was about to get in a fight with someone because they were saying sorry to me so much. And I was saying sorry too. I was like, no, I'm sorry. Like, no, I apologize. And I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm going to accept this apology. But,
You know, what part did you go to? What part?
I went to Kitchenville. So it was like a little like.
Sounds like racist bill.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm just kidding.
Because, you know, I agree with Evelyn. Because, bro, if somebody comes over here and they go to like Texas or Tennessee or whatever, bro, they're gonna be like, damn,
Americans are
they're racist, you know. But if you go somewhere else where it's more diverse, like they're like how she's saying, you see so many types of like diverse people that you're not gonna be like triggered or like, who the hell is this, you know?
And you know what's funny though? Where I went to, there was a lot of Middle Eastern people and Asian.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, but again, a lot of Australians, Ireland. So
I did go for a rave though, and it was headbangers.
Whoa.
Those are those
Hey, how do you not expect anger to be out there? You're like, boom, your anger gets out there.
And I did get in a fight. Actually, no. I did not get in a fight. I was defending my homegirl because some Canadian bitch tried it. She tried it. She really tried it. My homegirl. It was with Marisol.
Yeah.
We hit rails all 3 days. If you're a raver, you know when you hit rails like that is
did you guys
a medal
break your
of
necks?
honor. Hey, whoa. Hey. Still recovering 5 years later. Recovering headbanger. But Marisol was headbanging, and when you're headbanging, like your hair is going everywhere. Yeah. And so she has really long hair, and so she was headbanging, and I remember I was recording this like little tiny ass GoPro, and I'm like trying to get my homegirl, and then I just see some girl go like this to her, grab her hair. Marisol turns around and starts uppercutting this bitch. She's like, bah, bah, just straight uppercut, and I'm like far, so it's like where, like the end of that couch, and probably like where Evelyn's at, right? And so I'm just like, oh, hell no. So I fucking jump. And I'm not a fucking... I wasn't sprinting. I wasn't on obstacle course. I jumped from over there, landing on her, just hit that bitch. And I'm like, all right, that's it. Because Marisol was handling that. But I just had to let her know that was wrong. And then I remember security came and they were like, it was that her. And it was that stupid ass little fucking Canadian bitch. No offense to any Canadians, eh? But but you know, like they got her out and we were fine. So
yeah, that's good. They sided with you guys. You know, that's
bitch because she was in the wrong.
Yeah, no, but sometimes people are in the fucking wrong. And they're like, both of y'all, get out of here.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
But nah, that's crazy. That's a crazy experience. Hey, but now you're here to tell it. You know, now we can laugh about it.
I survived the Canadians, eh?
Hey. Talking about all this excessive use of force that you guys are mentioning, you know, obviously that happened at raves and can happen obviously anywhere. Did you guys hear about this case that recently happened of Tyre Nichols?
Yeah. It's extremely sad.
It's sad. It's so sad because, you know, when I hear all these cases all the time, you know, it sucks because thankfully it's not normalized, but we have to speak up for these people. When I hear about these stories, I always think about, you know, it's someone's son, it's someone's dad, it's someone's brother.
Yeah.
And
for no good reason.
I think
that's what it comes down to. It's like, you know, I understand when a police is in danger. Okay, you know, because I can see that. You know, I'm not that biased where I can't understand that police
there might be places of necessary support.
Of course. But when there isn't, it's just so sad. It's like, damn, that's just an abuse of power.
What have you guys heard about it? What have you guys looked into from what you guys seen or learned from?
So I watched the video, which I don't think you should do. It's really graphic. It all happened because of a traffic stop. So this is another young black man who was killed because
29 years old.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I remember the first time I had heard of something like this was with Sandra Bland over a traffic stop too. So it's crazy because when you see the video, they're just bludgeoning him to death.
Yeah.
It's sad. I don't like watching videos like that. And when I literally 5 seconds, like my blood was boiling. I felt like this anger, this.
And all you hear is them put your hands on, and they're doing that intentionally because they're recording, but I think they didn't put their cameras on. And so you're seeing the recording from a street camera. So they're saying that so it can
Wow.
seem when they write their reports that he was fighting back. You know?
So
That's
how
why they
many
were saying
cops were
that.
there attacking him?
It was 5 cops.
5. Wow.
I know they did have one of their body cameras on, but they were saying that because in the report, if you say put your hands on, it's making it seem like he's fighting, right?
Yeah.
He's
not listening
He's
to
not
them.
listening.
This
And also,
happened
it's
in
like when you're beating somebody up, it's hard for like you're gonna react. Your body's gonna react to defense. You know, like you cannot put your hands up or back if you're getting kicked or whatever. Like, I think that it's all calculated and like how you said, it's intentional. They're doing things to make themselves look better. But I think this doesn't even come down to like. I mean, it does come down to racism, but it also comes down to like power, abuse of power, because
Absolutely.
you know, these policemen, they get some power and they abuse it. It doesn't matter if they're black, Latino, white. It's a power complex that they
a
have.
position of feeling superior.
Exactly. They abuse it.
Yeah, and I was actually doing some reading because unfortunately the officers who did murder him were black, and policing is anti-black. You know, policing is like at the end of the day, policing was started why? To get people who were freed from enslavement.
Yeah, I read about
Slavery,
that. I did read about
That's
that.
literally the creation of police.
So it's literally anti-black, even though they are black men in this force.
You know, sometimes I think like when you hear black men entering this force, I kind of see it, and I'm not talking to just black men, Latino men. Sometimes I wonder, I was like, maybe these are the people that are going to make a difference. Maybe these are the people that are going to make an impact on showing that this isn't all about what, you know, social media or society sees cops as.
Yeah.
But then we see disappointments like this.
I think initially a lot of people have that mindset, a lot of police, but they get corrupt. You know, they get influenced.
Yeah.
They get bribed, or they just see other cops do things and get away with it. Yeah, and they fall in line. Or worse, when they see their partner messing up or just like doing excessive force, and they're not doing anything about it. They're just watching.
I think I'm not sure if there's a law rule, but when a cop can't do anything, like the higher leader's doing something. I don't know if I was reading that online. Maybe it was like on TikTok, but I guess when you're with the cop, I may be wrong. Okay. But this was what I was reading. As the higher manager or the higher person that's there, you have to follow his or her orders.
It's called the blue wall of silence or something like that.
Oh, so it is something.
No, but it's like a code that they follow. You know, like girl code.
Yeah.
So it's like so what happens, I was actually watching a committee with Congress member Hakeem Jeffries. He was actually supposed to be the first, hopefully he will be if to whatever, anyways. But he was asking a sheriff, his name was Sheriff Clark. He was asking them, well, why do you keep on saying black on black crime?
Oh, I saw that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he was like, why do you keep on saying black on black crime is a problem in America when 83% of white people are, 83% of whites are also committing crimes on white people. So wouldn't you say that there's also a white on white crime?
Yeah.
You know, so it's really just a system where if one police officer abuses, his partner will stay quiet, because in that same committee, there's someone who prosecutes or who tries to prosecute police officers. And she's like, DAs will do special investigations and immediately no charges pressed against the police officer. 3%, only 3% of police officers are charged in cases of excessive abuse or police brutality. And of that 3%, 1% get a conviction. And that doesn't mean that they get the just conviction. That just means that 1% get a conviction. And even then, how much time did someone serve? Very, very little.
Yeah, it's like a gang.
It is a gang.
You know, like it's like, I got you, bro. Like they all got each other's back. That's why nothing ever gets done. It's literally like the biggest gang here.
It is a gang. It is a gang. Hey, Tupac said, red and blue states. What's that sound like to y'all? Hey, the Bloods and Crips.
That's so true.
That's Democrats and Republicans.
That's so funny.
It's all, they're all gangs. And that's crazy because in LA, in the LA Police Department, they have been found to have different gangs within them. There's one called the Executioners, where you're supposed to kill someone in order to be a part of that police gang.
That's you know, I did hear about that. It's so sad. You think about it, and you're just like, oh, these people have big people job. They're just like not us. They're just like that. The people they talk and arrest. They're just in a different level of it.
Yeah. And honestly, anybody can be a cop.
Anybody.
Like anybody. It does not take a lot to be a cop. And I think that's where we have a problem, because why is it to be a doctor, a lawyer, you need all these like training,
prerequisites,
education, like knowledge, because you're messing with people's lives, you know? But a cop doesn't have the same standard. I think that's wild.
A quote that I heard was, being a police officer, it's one of the hardest jobs that's easy to get.
Ooh.
And if that doesn't explain why there's so much corruption, it's just like when people say like the mean girls go and become nurses, and just like the guys that peaked in high school are idiots, they're racist, that don't have much. I remember this one guy, he wanted to be a police officer. And
he's not a police officer?
I hope to God not, because I will go and I will look for the police department. I will send them the pictures of what he posted. So let me go into detail, right? So at the height of George Floyd, and you should call people out, because these are the same fucking lame ass losers who don't have to get any kind of formative education and then go join this police program and go commit brutalities. Because no one holds them accountable when you have the chance to stop them before they get, immunity, you know? And so what did he do? He went at the height of George Floyd protests. I will pull up the picture and I will try to put it in here so everyone can take a look and look how fucking idiots you are. And remember, what you post on the internet is there forever. He posted little girls and little children with their parents, probably a group of 10 people. And he posted, I got my gun ready if any of them are ready to go off, or something in the sense of that.
I remember seeing it. I think it was like, if they get crazy or anything,
if they get crazy, I have this gun ready to shoot.
Yeah.
So you're
it's
one
a little
of
family.
And it's little kids in a wagon with their little signs, like trying to do their little activism in the most innocent, peaceful way. And you, as someone who aspires to be a police officer, to even insinuate that you would blast all these children and their families, why the hell should we trust you with a gun? Why?
Yeah. Like, why? How are we gonna trust you to make judgment if you're already triggered by something that hasn't even happened?
Why? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. That's why you're still trying to run and hit weight. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen for you. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care if I'm being messy. I don't care. I don't care.
Bitch, we know. We know you don't care. Yeah, so for you guys, like, why do you think anyone should care about Black Lives Matter?
For me, I feel Black Lives Matter is an incredibly important movement, because as a woman of color, as a Latina, as my mom, being a first generation, my mom being an immigrant, all the rights, every single right that we have as women, that we have as people of color, is because of Black people.
Yeah,
Black activists. Civil rights is what gave equal opportunity, equal ability to vote for all people. Black people fought for me to have a right to vote. At the end of the day, whether he meant it for it to be a Latina in the future or for his children and his people, it doesn't matter. I've got to benefit. Yeah. So I should be standing there beside, because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired movements like Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, and other prominent figures that represent many communities of color. So why should I not care for these people? Had it not been for them, all of their suffering, 400 years of suffering, plus Jim Crow, why can't I care? Why wouldn't the unnecessary killing of Black people also help Latinos?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
agree. I think for me, same thing. I would say it's an impactful movement. It's something that we should continue spreading awareness of. I think cases like this are so unfortunate that they have to happen for us to finally realize. And, keep in mind, these are things that happen in camera. What doesn't happen when the camera is not there? What has happened in history when the camera wasn't there? Yeah. And there's so many things that we're not aware of. And again, I think why does it matter to me? Again, being Latina, being a person of color, know that I don't, I don't get discriminated as much, maybe because I'm a lighter color, but that still hurts me, seeing that I have family that's a little darker than me, or any of that. It makes a difference on how people treat others, and it's hurtful and it's sad, and it's a sad reality. I want to continue to spread awareness of this movement, because I feel like so many people are oblivious of it, and they try hiding it, and they try, maybe if I don't see it, it's just not real. but it is real. It's real. It's sad. And again, that's someone's son. That could be your son, but it's not. It could be your dad, but he's not. I'm not saying specifically like, oh, it's let's target this ethnicity or race. But to me, it's important to spread this awareness because I want to spread this love. I want to spread this impactful movement of saying we've made it. You know, I'm so thankful to say like we are making a difference by, you know, holding this protest, making, you know, talking about this now, talking about this with you guys. I don't think this was a comfortable topic that people used to be able to talk about, you know, at school or any of that. Like, oh, no, she's talking about that.
I think people just didn't believe it. You know, I think people just thought like, oh, they're just playing victim. I think that's the big thing that a lot of people say. Like,
is it really victim when there's too many victims?
Yeah, and it's not. It's really like how you say. It's like it's on camera. It's in front of our face. I think George Floyd was a big like a, you know, eye opener for the world. I mean, for me, I always understood this racism. I always believed it. I always heard about it. Like, you know, even myself as a I mean, I'm not even dark, but in my own culture, I have, you know, been through my own racism in my own culture. So I believe in it. I know it's real, but I for sure believe that George Floyd put a spotlight on it and really made everyone look they abused their power. I remember when I first saw that video of George Floyd and the cop with his knee on his neck for like 8 minutes. Bro, I was angry. I was like, I wish I was there to sock that cop out or do something because he was just there with the smirk, like not giving a hell, you know? And for me, that was
an alleged $20 counterfeit.
Exactly. No one is worth dying for that. Like,
and thank you to the media for exposing us of this, because if this wasn't for the media, would we have been oblivious?
Phones, you know, cameras.
Exactly. That's the media though. Entertainment, social media.
I wouldn't credit all media because there's people like Fox News who twist stories, right? They were trying to say,
but I'm saying like if we wouldn't have seen that on social media, would we ever even have heard of it?
That's true.
Yeah. I do. I think that's the perspective I'm seeing it as. But yeah, Fox 11 News. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, no.
Chief.
Yeah, I would say social media is for sure helped put light on it, but it's also done harm, you know, because all these conspiracy theories, like all these lies, and now people don't know what the hell to believe anymore because of social media. Yeah, and that's why I know this is like the conservative thing to say, but it's true. You have to do your own research. And when I say your own research, I don't mean just go on YouTube and believe what anybody says. Like, no, like look for reliable sources and like, you know, real educated people that are doing real journalism on this case, studies, like exactly like
scholarly sources.
Like they were saying in high school. Sources. Yeah. But yeah, I think that we have to care about this because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all people of color, and I can only imagine how strong we would be if we all united.
Yeah,
you know, Asians, Latinos, Black people, like all of us united against like the injustice that we all go through. I think that the majority, which is white people, I think they would be a little intimidated or they would be scared because I can't really feel it now, and we have not even done much, you know. Yeah. But I can say ever since George Floyd, I do see like there is like this. Like they're scared, you know, even right now with what happened with Tyre Nichols, you know, what happened with him, they're already kind of like, damn, like they're already trying to like prepare for like a big violent protest or something because they're already like, oh my God, like we don't know how the people are going to react. Yeah,
you should not know what to expect either. We're over it. Don't forget that name, Tyre Nichols. Like, remember that. And we're going to remember all those following names. And I'm tired of that.
Yeah, it's disappointing, and I'm glad that our generation that we give a hell. You know, I will say that this is nothing new. You know, back then they didn't have cameras, but I will say that racism was worse and it was more in your face than it is now. And people, I wouldn't say they didn't do anything about it, but I don't feel like, you know, a lot of Latinos or other people of
color didn't feel empowered.
Yeah, and they didn't really like care to do much. I feel like back then everybody was trying to be white. You know, like, you know,
assimilate.
Yeah, they were trying to assimilate. That's why a lot of Latinos don't even speak Spanish, like the generations. Because at first I would judge people like, how are you Latina or Latino and you don't speak Spanish? But then I learned that their parents didn't teach them.
Yeah,
you know,
because they used to get made fun of.
They would. Their parents they would get shitted on or they would get discriminated or something for speaking Spanish. So because they didn't want their kids to go through that. They
That's
didn't
so
teach them
crazy.
Spanish.
Wow.
So yeah, I would say that I'm proud that our generation, like, we're for our culture. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to like embrace it instead of trying to like be something that we're not.
I love that. Embracing your culture, embracing your roots, embracing who you are.
And other cultures.
And other culture, of course, but never forget where you came from. You know, speak up. Don't be afraid. You know, this is who I am. This is my color of skin, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Do you guys think that George Floyd, the protest, that it made a difference?
I don't think it made the difference that it should have, you know? Because like Breonna Taylor, I mean, what happened to her was horrible.
Yeah.
It was
In her own
horrible. She
home.
was in her own home. They got the wrong apartment. Like, you know,
knock warrants.
Yeah, like there's just so much more that happened since George Floyd. And I still feel like there's so much more to do.
So much work in progress.
Yeah.
Like,
And sadly, like the Black Lives Matter, like it created the all lives matter shit, you know? So there's also like that people are fighting back against it. So it's obviously like to most of us, it should be common sense. Like, damn, we need to do something about it. But then people show their true colors and they're over here like contradicting it. Like, oh no, all lives matter. And it's like, yeah, we know all lives matter. Yeah.
All lives, you're right. All lives should matter, but they don't. And that's why Black people are killed at a 2.3 times more likely to be killed or hurt by police. Latinos 1.3, Native Americans 1.7. So it's like, so if all lives do matter, why can't Black lives matter for this specific movement? Over 1,100 people are killed yearly by police officers. Do they not have a right to trial? Are they not innocent until proven guilty? Like, why are Black people, right? We're talking specifically about Black Lives Matter. Why are the police officers able to be the executioner, the defender, the end all be all? Like, what? Why? Like, why can't these people be given a fair trial? Why did Tyre Nichols need to be murdered for a traffic stop?
Yeah. That honestly, that's so sad. And the way they just went at it.
He was 2 minutes away from his house.
Yeah. They didn't even let him like talk, or they just like immediately just start attacking him. Like they even like boxed him in before he even got. They're already like calculating what they're gonna do. It's so sad.
2 minutes away from his house.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, bitch. When I saw his mom talk about that, like, she's like, he was only 2 minutes away. It was earth shattering. Pinpoint how these police officers were Black. I think we need to look at the response and how swiftly the DA was willing to fire them and press charges on them for that. But I think that too, like when we look at how white people are tried and white police officers, again, maybe we'll try to include the clip.
Seems to me to make sense that we also have to deal with what may be another elephant in the room, to use your term, Sheriff Clark, the blue wall of silence. When an officer crosses the line, the ethic is not to cooperate or participate or speak on what the officer has done. Professor Ramirez, would you agree that that's perhaps something that we should also be focused on?
In my own experience in trying to prosecute police officers, I had problems. Here's just one problem. The FBI and DEA said we won't even serve subpoenas on a case in which there's a police officer as a defendant. Here's a second problem. They tried to testify in the case in favor of the police officer, saying that they had made their own independent evaluation of the case.
I saw, but there was a person who helps prosecute police who murder, innocent civilians, and she said that DAs won't even press charges. They'll do their own special investigations, So I think I saw a quote here. It came from a studies, not a quote. It came from a studies. And a study said that we find that non-white officers kill both Black and Latino suspects at significantly higher rates than white officers. This is likely due to the fact that minority police officers tend to be assigned to minority neighborhoods and therefore have more contact with minority suspects. So what does that mean? That means that immediately people of color are deemed suspect, and that because they're Black or Latino or Asians, they're more likely to kill Black, Latinos, and, suspects than they are to kill white. Why do they feel so free that it's so easy? And there's another quote that I said, policing is the race. There's no Black race, white race. Policing is the race. They
You
all
know, I
work
really
under
started
that.
thinking that too. This day, I was like, it's crazy. You know, the cops were black. I'm like, it's not even about race. Like, yeah, I'm not talking. I'm talking about like the force, like the police thing. It seems more
It's an
again
institution.
like a gang.
Yeah,
Or, you know, like a
it's,
big
it's
gang.
the
or
power. It's a power complex. You know, you get a gun, you get to stop people. You can really fuck up a person's life as being a police. Like you really have that much power if you really think about it. So it gets to their head. It does. And then once I get it, you know, police probably have bad encounters, so they just kind of judge everyone already, like off of you, like, oh, you're gonna be this way. Because I've honestly, like, it's rare when I have a good encounter with the police. Like they're always a dick for no damn reason. Like I'm just like, what is going on with you? Like I understand you encounter some bad people, but I am not them, and everyone should be, you know, faced
If
with
we're
respect.
innocent until proven guilty,
I
why
would
are
say
we
the same.
guilty?
Until
I would say-
proven otherwise.
I would
Like,
say like it's been for me. It's been very rare when I do encounter someone nice. But for those that are nice, I do like I appreciate that there is that very small percentage, again small, that are trying to do their job. Because I'm sure that there's people that are trying, but they're getting corrupted and they're going through that, and it's sad.
Yeah, of course, not all cops are bad, you know, but the institution, like policing, again, its origins were it was anti-black.
there were slave
Free-
patrols.
yeah.
Literally, cops come from like they originate to do that. So that thing, that's when people don't understand. It's like literally the whole point of cops, like it roots to slavery, it roots to racism. Like that's why it's so engraved in their culture. Like how you were saying about initiation, a lot of them are like kind of white supremacists, right? A lot of like the little
Absolutely.
the gangs within the police departments, like majority of them are white supremacy. Like you have to kill a person of color to get in, or certain things.
You know, I don't know, it's crazy. And I also wanted to point out that already in Memphis, Tennessee, there's been tanks. The National Guard has tanks posted up ready for these protests. But when white people went to the Capitol on January 6th and rioted, where were the tanks?
I know.
At our Capitol, where our
And
president.
they planned this. They planned
And this
it.
is planned. The FBI reported that they knew white supremacists were infiltrating police force, were infiltrating these institutions. And where were those tanks for them? And not only that, so federal judges have gone below the government's sentencing recommendations in 2/3 of the Capitol rioters' cases so far. But 14,000 Black Lives Matter protesters were arrested in 2020 alone.
Yeah.
So what does that say? Do all lives really matter? How come white people are not being prosecuted when that was treason? They tried to overturn a supposedly sovereign nation with democracy first. What does that say? What does that say?
They were after political leaders. Like
wanting
what?
to kill Mike Pence and AOC. Crazy.
Yeah, and Nancy Pelosi.
And it was a whole different
Ooh.
topic, but her husband, what was it, an axe? Was it
Yeah,
a random
an
guy who had an
axe.
axe and he just, you seen the video?
Yeah.
So graphic. It's like, he was a big magda.
Yeah, he's a QAnon MAGA fanatic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Went inside and got an axe, and Fox News was trying to lie and say that it was a lover's quarrel, a gay lover's quarrel, when you can literally see that this man nearly killed him. He bludgeoned this man with
Dude,
an axe.
and the fact
he
that
was
they
going
put this
after
on the
Nancy.
news, like literally the axe hitting the old guy. I was like, oh my God. I was getting my nails done, right? And like I gathered, like, and the lady's like, what? And I'm like, like I couldn't believe I haven't watched the news in so long. I haven't seen something so graphic like that on the TV. So I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm
And,
telling you.
and honestly, like, I'm surprised that didn't get it. I mean, it got coverage,
Wait,
but
isn't that white on white crime?
Hey. No, seriously, like, honestly, I've always heard that, you know, the black on black crime or whatever, but it's not even that. There's white on white crime, there's Latino on Latino crime.
It's just crime.
It's just let's be honest, when you live in wherever you live, there's a good chance there's a lot of people like that around you. You know, so like, you know, if you live like in the IE, there is a lot of Latinos around you. You know, if you go to Beverly Hills, you're probably gonna see a lot of white people, you know. I'm sure where they were from, there is a lot of black people. So you're gonna do crime within your community. So that's why that whole black on black crime is so stupid. It does not really exist. You can put that on any ethnicity, to be honest. So
it is. It's actually equivalent. 83% of white people commit crimes to white people, and the numbers are almost exactly the same across the board for different races. So again, that's a racist talking point because they want what again, like Black people when they were enslaved, they were good, they were kind, they were happy, and as soon as they were able to gain their freedom, they changed the narrative because they're no longer profiting off of them. So it's like, come on, like.
And you know what it is too? This might be like, a crazy thing to say, but I feel like, deep down, not Black people, white people have like a fear of like karma coming back at them. And that's why they always think like, oh, they're violent, they're all that, because they think because of everything they've done to their ancestors or whatever, like they're
scared of their karma, their revenge.
Yeah, they're scared of their karma. Like they have this fear inside them, like, oh, they're gonna retaliate one day, and we're lucky they haven't. To be honest, like we're lucky that we haven't seen like a revolution from them, or like,
doesn't that show you that they're much better people than these white people who
all they want is equality. All we all want is just equality.
All we all want,
as women, as a Latina, as I think as minorities, like we just want to be seen as a true equal. And not be treated different for the way we look, something that we cannot change.
I feel like we all want equality, right? I would say that some people can promote equality, but once they see the equality, that's where the fear comes and like, oh, no. They're getting treated, I'm getting treated. I want to get treated better. Yeah. And all that stuff. And it's sad.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like, if you look at history and why America is just so powerful and so like the economy is just booming or whatever, it comes from slavery. We had free labor for over 100 years. Imagine how rich Amazon would be if they didn't have to pay their workers. That's basically what happened.
They're barely getting paid too. I'm saying.
Yeah, and they're not even getting paid what they should. I mean, Amazon even stole like $1 million in tips from their drivers. And
maybe that's why Amazon is booming.
No, seriously.
Capitalism thrives on the exploitation of the
and we started literally America is America because of slavery, and that's so sad, but literally that's why a lot of like white people are higher up in status when it comes to money and property and all that, because for a while like a lot of people of color couldn't even own land. We couldn't even buy property, and real estate it's like the first step to wealth.
1965.
Yeah, we couldn't even vote, so couldn't even make or do something to help us, because it was on the hands of white men. But it's sad. It's sad. We think that slavery is gone. We think that it's something in the past. But, I heard that there's more slavery now. Yeah, I heard there's more slavery now than ever.
By our different Middle Eastern countries, there's a lot of like Liberians who are enslaved. They come and they take their passport and they force them to work. There's slaveries across the world. It hasn't ended. It might look different. It might be presented in a different manner, but it's not over.
No, and it all comes down to capitalism. It all comes down to greed, to money, to power, and there should just be a good balance. Like there's nothing wrong with power, there's nothing wrong with money, subjectively there's nothing wrong, but it's the way it's used, the way it's abused, the way that people are exploited, the way people are killed because of power or money or whatever, and that's the problem.
You guys want equality. There's not such thing as someone having more power than the other. Equality is everyone having power.
Yeah, as a community.
As a community, working together.
Yeah. Like we each do something to help our society.
Exactly. Any thoughts that you guys have to say other like than with what happened? What are your thoughts or things that you would want to say to people hearing? Like, for me, I would say like spread this awareness. Don't forget the name, Tyre Nichols. Remember, you want to work for equality. You want to work towards equality. It all starts with you making that difference and making that change.
I feel like for me, my messaging is be comfortable with the uncomfortable. We do come from Latino households, and sometimes you need to have those uncomfortable conversations with your family members and educate them and remind them all of these rights that you have, the ability for you to vote, the ability for you to be treated equally. This is all thanks to, civil rights movement. Until now, it's our turn to amplify their voices and to be an ally. And if you can't donate, if you can't vote, if you can't at least share the message and have those conversations of, at the end of the day, remove their color. This is a human being. Why do they not deserve the right to a trial?
Yeah. And I would say speak up. Don't be scared to speak up. If you hear someone saying something ignorant or like repeating conspiracy theories or something, like don't be scared to like check them or be like, give them a different perspective. I'm not saying to go attack a person or anything like that, but just be like, this is actually what I heard. Like, let me give you a different perspective, or, maybe if you thought about it like this, or what if you were this person in their shoes, or what if, it was your brother? I don't know. I feel like sometimes people, they get caught up in their own perspective, their own circle, their own experiences. So they can't really like see it other perspective until it's presented to them. So never be scared to speak up and to, voice your opinion. Especially once you hear someone saying something very ignorant.
We're all blood and flesh. We all end up dying the same way. We all end up in the same place.
Yeah, and there's only one race, and it's the human race. Race was created like recently, like 300 years ago or 400 years ago, and it was created for slavery. So, I mean, not for like slavery in general, because slavery was always done, but you were more judged off of like your ethnicity. I mean, not your ethnicity, your religion. So like, or maybe we're like the country you're from, like, you're from Spain or you're from that. Like, there was no really like a race. They didn't discriminate you off of what you look like the color of your skin or whatever. Yeah. It was really off of religion or what country you're from. And the United States, like, we literally created the concept of race so that we can have an excuse to like treat a certain type of group less than, because that's where eugenics came from. And literally, like, I mean, I don't want to rant too much, but literally, like, Nazi, like the Hitler, got his inspiration from a doctor in America who was so big on eugenics. And even he would say, like, basically he was inspired by the way Black people were treated here, and that's what inspired him to do the same to the Jewish people or gays or whatever over there. But it's like literally we've been the inspiration and the creation of racism, you know, and that's why you might talk about other countries and their racism and this and that, but we're literally like, we birthed that thing. Like, we created it, we gave it power, we gave it meaning, and we implemented it in our country and for our own personal gain. So I think that's why we do hold a responsibility to speak out and to also show the rest of the world what needs to be done in these type of situations.
I'm just saying. Chantal for president.
No, facts, 100%. And you know, this might have been an episode a little, heavier than our usual, but again, like Chantal said, it's important to speak up. If we don't have anything, at least we have our voice. And
spread that awareness, spread it out. This is what we're doing. We're spreading awareness. Even as a Latina, Latinos are racist too.
Yeah.
Let's stand up for these people
within ourselves.
What about when if they were Latinos, we would want other races to stand up for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're stronger together. I think that's what people forget. Like, if all the minorities were to stick together and fight these issues, whoa, bro, we would have the white people in power scared. But we don't. We fight against each other, and I think that's the problem.
And remember, no justice, no peace.
Hey.
At the end of the day. So with that, we do want to thank everyone for tuning in. We hope you learned something. Hope you take something from this. And, become a better person or better ally or better informed. At the end of the day, we're all learning. If this is where you just learned everything, this is where you start. You can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And then follow us on our socials. Mine is Chantal's Way.
Well, I would say you can find me on Instagram.
But work in progress.
Instagram disabled my account, so if y'all know how to... Hey, wait, hold up.
I wonder why.
You can follow me on TikTok, because I'm definitely going to post there, because somebody needs to see all this bad bitchness. Anyways, that's Izy, 2 I's, 2 EEZY. Yeah, don't forget to share with your homies, share something you learned some.
And then don't forget to follow me on social too at Evelyn EVAXLYN. You'll see up on the screen. And yeah, continue watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.